Hi, welcome to an OpenLM webinar. I'm Sagi, I will be your host, and we will be going over the basics of OpenLM. We'll go over the embedded and advanced license reporting. So, what is OpenLM? Basically, you might have many different types of license managers that you have on your network. Now, you might have FlexLM, Loom, Hasp, Mix. All the license managers can be monitored by OpenLM. And the problem with these license managers usually is that they just don't give you enough information about what's going on. They can tell you what's going on right now, but if you need statistical reporting, well, not all vendors supply that. So what does OpenLM do? First of all, monitoring. You can monitor all those different types of license managers in one place. You can know what's going on right now using a simple interface. You can also manage different aspects of the licensing system, meaning you'll be able to access license managers remotely. You'll be able to upload or download files from there. You'll be able to automate your system so you get a notification when stuff happens, meaning the license server went down. Well, you need to check that. You can get a notification. Someone is using for too long. Many different examples. You can also get just an email to your inbox of a report that you like every week, send me a report. I don't even want to go into the user interface. You can do that. So all of this basically comes to reduce license spending and increase availability. Once you know the amounts of licenses that you have and the amounts that you're utilizing, so you know if you can reduce the amount of licenses. Usually we do find a reduction. Now, once you did reduce those amounts of licenses, you can have the availability increased, meaning that more people will have those licenses more of the time. This way, you use up the licenses the best you can. Now, all of this results basically in compliance. You can know for a fact that you're compliant because you have the reports to show for it. So I'm just going to jump to a live system and just show you OpenLM as it is. So what are we seeing here? I have a few license managers. I got like Autodesk, ArcGIS, ANSYS, and I have all of them in one place, which I can start, stop, reread. I can control the license manager itself remotely. Now, if I want, I can also upload files. Let's say I've got a bunch of license files that I need to upload there. Just click upload and select the license files. And I can do this for all the different license servers I have, making it much easier than to remote desktop to the server, loading the license file, restarting the license manager, and doing that a whole bunch of times. You can just do it from here. But let's take a look what we have here. Let's take a look at this Autodesk. I've got 45 licenses and 22 are currently in use. So I see I got different types of licenses here. One moment. The amounts of them right here and who is using them. So for example, I can click on the 5 number here and see 5 users currently using 5 of those 10 licenses that I have. Now we can see many different users here: Bella, Harry, William. Going to the right, you can see also which group they're from, when they started, their workstation, how long they've actually been using it. And if you watch the extensions webinar, you can also see that OpenLM is also able to harvest and show idle times. But that's for another webinar. Here it's not shown. We're concentrating on the basics. Now, know that these users, you get their groups, their details, credentials, everything can be synced up from Active Directory. Now, these users, some may be stakeholders. You can give them permission to access this interface and you decide what they see. So going back to the license servers here, which show me current activity, I can also see this on a larger database where we have many different types of license managers here. We've got RLM, Looms, LSDyna, FlexLM, many different types. And all of them, you can see, are monitored under the same roof. So OpenLM can scale up. We have clients with even more than that, twice and triple. Now let's go to the historical reporting aspect of it. Once you know how well you're utilizing it, you can make some important insights. So let's say that you filter out a feature that is dear to your heart. Maybe it's expensive. Maybe you always get users complaining about it. But let's say you open it up and you see this case. Well, you got 70 licenses and maybe 15, 16 were used. Meaning that I'm not really using it, not utilizing my licenses. I've got like 16 used max and maybe 70. That's not good. But if we have a different case, let's say this one. Well, this looks better. See, if we open this up and we see this, well, it's well utilized. Now, we can also, of course, let me pull up a stored filter I have here. Now we can also show this as a heat map. The heat map gives us much better view. It shows us the hours of the day and the days of the week. And we can see that most of the usage is concentrated around working hours. So what happens here? We got 70 out of 70 licenses. Well, here users start getting denied. So we have this covered as well. OpenLM can show true denials, meaning who got denied, when, from what, for what reason, and so on. Now you can aggregate it however you like, by user, by group, by hour, whatever you choose. Now OpenLM shows true denials, but you can also filter out to show all the denials. Now what's a true denial? Let's say someone gets denied from getting a license. He's not able to use it. Well, that's a true denial. But let's say someone opened up his application. The application went out and tried to get a license from one server and got denied. Went out to the second server and did get the license. So for the user it was transparent. For you it should also be transparent because the user did get the license. So you can filter out and show only true denials. So you got 80 here, but if I filter it out, I see 39. Now, all this comes to reduce licensing costs. Now, how do we do this? Basically, by calculating the utilization of your licenses over time. So right here, for example, we see a report that shows us the spread of the usage of the license. So we want to know, okay, out of this point, out of this graph, how long did it actually spend on 70 licenses? Let's take a 1 year back. How long did it actually spend on 70 right here? It was like here and here and here. Was it a lot? Was it a little? What data can I extract from it? Well, the license utilization tells you 70 licenses used was 0.01% of the time, which makes sense. Just a little bit here, a little bit here and there. That's it. Now we can we can use this to show quality of service. Now, quality of service, that means what is the number of licenses that I need to give my end users 95% chance of getting that license. So 95% of the times they will get the license, 5% they will get denied, statistically speaking, based on your historical usage. Now we see a line here telling us we need 45 licenses. We have 70, but we need only 45. Now we've seen that this basically follows a working day pattern, as you can see here. So we care about basically the working days and working hours. We don't care about all the rest. So let's filter that out as well. Still giving us a reduction of, it shows us that we need 56 licenses when we have 70. Still a pretty good reduction. Even if we want 99 licenses, 99%, then we need 63 licenses. Now, what we usually see here is anywhere between 10 to 20% cost reduction. Now, when you're talking about engineering licenses, that's a lot. It's a lot of money. Even if you save up 10%, that pretty much right there justifies purchase of OpenLM. You get instant ROI. Now, let's take a look at it from another angle and show you which licenses were just never used. So for example, in the licenses not in use report, I can see that Navisworks was just never used. If it appears here, it was just never ever used. So I know to just not buy this next time. When it's time to renew, maybe I buy a different package, maybe I get a different catalog. It's not used. I might even see all the features of a certain server never used. So I know I can maybe decommission that server. I can look into that further. Now, something else that can really point to what's more utilized is the license activity report, which basically tells you the, well, who's been using. So here it's filtered by the username. Let's do it by, I don't know, time. You can see who's using which group they're from, workstation, the same as we've seen before for current activity. This is for closed sessions. And we can see the amount of time and idle time, of course. Now we can, of course, export all this raw data or use the group by to just see which users have been using the most, which features are most used, which servers are most used, and so on. Because we have the usage time summed up. Now you can also group users in OpenLM and get usage per group. So it helps for group billing and chargeback billing. Okay, so we've seen a few reports of OpenLM. Now OpenLM has more reports than what I've shown you. You got a lot of reports right here, each one with its own unique benefits. But these ones really tell the story of OpenLM. What's going on right now, all my historical information, and utilization and predictions on what I actually need to buy. But some clients, they want a bit more. They want customized report. They want to be able to create their own report. They want to access using a BI tool like Power BI. So OpenLM has an extension called the Reporting Hub. The Reporting Hub basically is a data engine that runs data from the OpenLM database to a reporting database. Now, this is an extension. It's not mandatory. You can have it if you want, if you purchase it. And then you can access using any business intelligence tool. Just access the data warehouse, data warehouse that it creates. Now, what do you get? You get the option to create dashboards real easy, using a BI tool, using a SQL query tool, whatever you choose. So let's take an example. Let's say I want to see the usernames, and this is encrypted data because it's a client database, so you'll see weird names here. So we want to see session duration. We want to know the amount of denials. You can just count them. Now, right away, I have a report. Right away, I have the report I want. Now you can add, for example, different measures to it and different dimensions to it. So which feature were they actually using? I can have it like that. I could have it as a table, as a chart, whatever I need. Resulting in custom dashboards that you can kind of create, drill down, view the data however you'd like. For example, I'm interested in Arc info, what's going on here. I can drill down into Arc info, see the group, drill down into the group, see the users that are using it, and so on. This way I get better insights from the data. And that's it, basically. I just wanted to give you a taste of OpenLM, just to show you the main reports of OpenLM, what OpenLM can do. Now there's one more option. OpenLM can also integrate with ServiceNow. So the reports of OpenLM can also be shown on ServiceNow if you have it. You can, once you purchase OpenLM, you can integrate for free. And you get basically all the data that you've seen now, but mixed with ServiceNow data. So for example, we have used licenses and using the amount of time that users have been using applications and how long have they been idle, denials, but it's mixed with ServiceNow data. So you can see, for example, cost centers, you can see your current spend, and if you know what you're spending and you know how well you're utilizing, well, you can calculate potential savings, which ServiceNow can simply give you an overview of how much you could have saved. So let's take this point in time, for example. And I see I have low usage of Inventor and I can save up to like $65,000. So all I need to do is simply reclaim those 5 licenses which are marked for reclamation, 5 rights of Autodesk installed, ready to be reclaimed. So how much will it save? $65,000. That's basically how it works once you have the usage and you have how much you're spending on what. Then you can also calculate potential savings and really give OpenLM grounded basis in procurement. And that's it. So if you have any questions, go ahead, put them down in the questions box. But if not, then thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you learned something about OpenLM that you didn't already know. You can contact us just by email. Go to our website, contact us by email. You can call us up over the phone using any of these numbers, or just by clicking here, which allows you to start a chat with one of us support or sales engineer. Okay, and that's it. Thanks, guys. If you have a question, go ahead. Oh, you're most welcome, Brian. Okay, Ashwini is asking, one moment. We were consolidating a list of applications that had license managers that were not supported by default broker server. Could you please help us understand how can we bring them under OpenLM? They're programming generic. Want to know more about OpenLM generic? Okay. So there are two options to do this. First of all, yeah, you can go to the programming side, which I'll get into in a moment. But you can also use something called unmanaged processes. So you can monitor those applications on the end user workstations. We have an OpenLM agent, which we can just roll out to using SCCM, using GPO. You can roll out to all the workstations, and they will all transmit information to OpenLM server. Now, this option, you can monitor the process itself. So it's taken a different route. You don't do that from the server. But if you're interested in actually investing some programming, then you can maybe parse the license manager to OpenLM syntax. OpenLM generic is basically syntax of OpenLM. Now, if you go to, let me open up the broker, let me show you. We have here many different syntaxes that the broker can listen to, but one of them is OpenLM generic. OpenLM generic is just, it's an XML file that if you fill in with the correct syntax and you update it like every minute, every second, whatever you want, then the broker can take those changes and input them as the other servers, as the same as the other servers. Because all these servers, ePlan, DSLS, BetaLM, all these servers, all their syntax is being parsed automatically by the broker and being sent to OpenLM server. Now, OpenLM generic here is the only one that's not being parsed because it's already generic. Everything else becomes OpenLM generic. So this is like the exposed code of the exposed syntax of the broker. So if you can feed data to that, no problem. You'll basically need to feed information to an XML file in the generic format. Now, how does this generic format work? I'm really not sure. This is more for development. So if you want, you can drop us a line at support@openlm.com, and we'll make sure to try and find documentation that we have that's under the development team, or maybe get you in contact with the developer if sales agrees, of course. Now, if you would like us to develop this this plugin, then basically this will take developer hours, and you will need to contact sales about it. Okay, Brian is asking, I was just trying to see my usage by group, and when I choose a group from the pull down, one of the group that shows up in the report is OpenLM Everyone. So I added all groups but everyone to filter, and then nothing shows up. What did I do wrong? Okay, let's see. First of all, you'll need to make sure of a few things. Let's take a look at a group here. Let's take a look at its members. Now, these members right here, you'll need to make sure of a few things. First of all, that one group at least is set as default group. So if you are using Active Directory, for example, then you have an option in the Active Directory, either the directory synchronization service, new one, or the old Active Directory synchronization. In both cases, you have an option to set default group, set as default group. What that means that all the usage of that user will go to one group, because let's take this example. I have two groups. This guy, Gail, is a part of two groups. Well, yeah, he's a part of two groups, but the licensing usage, which group should it go to? So you define the default one. So the usage, the time spent using an application will go to that group instead of the other one. Now, if none are set as default, it doesn't have a default, then the usage will be recorded, but under the default OpenLM group, the OpenLM Everyone. So make sure that they're set as default, because if we would stream the, let's say, in 2 hours used to two groups, then you'll actually have in the reports 4 hours used, because it's like two groups. So you need to choose a group. Which one is it registered under? You can have only one, so you need to choose the default. Now, one thing more that you need to check is the OpenLM license. If you go to Start, Administration, OpenLM license, then you can check if you have group billing. Group billing allows the information to flow into a group, into a default group. If you don't have this, it will just not flow there. You'll be able to create groups, but not store information and data in there. Okay, I hope that that cleared it. Yes, the default group. We actually have that a lot. Group billing is a separate feature you need to add in your license file. You need to purchase it from our sales team. Once you have that, then you can display usage by different groups and filter out different groups and so on. Not sure of the pricing though. You'll have to contact sales. So no, it's not included in the normal pro level. I believe it's included enterprise and up, meaning enterprise, site license. Maybe academic has it, I'm not sure, but I know that Light, Live, Pro, and single vendor, I believe, don't have it by default. I don't believe it's a costly one. You should check. Okay, Brian, it's just me and you. Everybody left. Do you have anything else you want to go over, discuss? I'll be happy to answer. If you just remember later of something that you want to test, something you have a question about, then just contact us, send us an email, or call us by chat. Okay, happy to help. I believe that you will get a recording of this webinar. I'm not sure when, it's up to marketing. You can go over it then. What you can also do if you want to review that and you didn't receive the recording just yet, you can go to our website and just search for the word recorded, and you'll find recorded webinars. And you have here all my webinars. One of them is this core functionality that I do. So you can go over that if you need to come back to the reports. But we got many here that you can go over, like hidden features, just going over engineering licenses, how to cut idling sessions short, and so on. Wonderful. Then have a great day, Brian. Bye-bye.